This is For the Love of the Song, where you will hear from the artists themselves as they share with you inspirations and stories about their music. It's all for the love of the song.
Hi, this is Mike Blakely, and I'd like to tell you the story behind my song called Chuck Will's Widow. It's on my latest album. The name of the album is Homemade Serenade. It's an acoustic album with laid-back songs and sparse production that I hope folks will enjoy, just as if we're sitting in your living room playing acoustic instruments and singing to you. Yeah, the song is called Chuck Will's Widow, and that may ring a bell with some people, with bird watchers in particular, because I'm kind of a bird watcher. I'm an outdoorsy guy, and I hunt and fish, and I live on a small ranch here in Texas and really enjoy the outdoors and wildlife and that sort of thing. And so I do a lot of bird watching. There's a bird called Chuck Will's Widow. It's really similar to the whippoorwill. Of course, Hank Williams wrote the definitive whippoorwill song. The whippoorwill makes a call. It's a night bird, and it makes a call in the night that sounds like the word whippoorwill. Well, Chuck Will's Widow looks a lot like the whippoorwill, very similar habits. Its call sounds like the phrase Chuck Will's Widow. You'll hear them calling to each other in this high kind of bird voice in the woods at night. So we had this bird migrating through our area, and I got to thinking about it. It sounded like a song title to me. So I decided to write a song called Chuck Will's Widow, and I figured if it had a widow in it, that meant somebody got killed, and if somebody's going to get killed in a song, I figured, well, it's probably going to be a bluegrass song. If somebody gets killed in one of my songs, I want it to be somebody who deserves killing. So those were kind of my parameters for writing this song. I hope everybody enjoys it.
Charlie Will was a rough old cob, everybody called him Chuck. Spent his nights in a gambling hall, ran moonshine in his truck. Chuck Will had him a pretty little wife, she was only 17. Brought her to town every Saturday, the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. And I hear Chuck Will the widow calling, Chuck Will the widow singing, Chuck Will the widow calling to me all night long. Chuck Will had him a hog-leg coat that he never was afraid to shoot, brass knuckles in his pocket and a knife down in his boot. One night in town in a bar room I saw Chuck Will slap his wife. I hit him hard upside the head and he stuck me with his knife. And I hear Chuck Will the widow calling, Chuck Will the widow singing, Chuck Will the widow calling to me all night long. Well, I woke up in a hospital bed, lucky for to be alive. Everybody said stay away from Chuck if you want to survive. But I kept thinking of the pretty little thing while I was healing up in bed, and the hope I seen in her eyes of green as I went upside Chuck's head. And I heard Chuck Will the widow calling, Chuck Will the widow singing, Chuck Will the widow calling to me all night long. One Saturday night when the moon was bright, she came a knocking on my door. Said, Charlie's gonna kill me, I can't live like this no more. So we locked the door, Chuck kicked it down, and his coat began to blaze. It took one good round of buckshot, now Chuck rots in his grave. And I hear Chuck Will the widow calling, Chuck Will the widow singing, Chuck Will the widow calling to me all night. Chuck Will the widow calling, Chuck Will the widow singing, Chuck Will the widow calling to me all night. Chuck Will the widow, Chuck Will the widow, Chuck Will the widow calling to me all night. Chuck Will the widow calling, Chuck Will the widow singing, Chuck Will the widow calling to me
It's all for the love of the song.
For the Love of the Song is brought to you by Outlaw Magazine, outlawmagazine.com.